Beneath Yellowstone National Park lies a vast and mysterious supervolcano, drawing intrigue from scientists and visitors alike. In 2025, researchers used advanced airborne electromagnetic surveys to reveal a mystery sandwich of geological layers, mapping magma chambers and complex hydrothermal pathways. A recent hydrothermal explosion in Biscuit Basin highlighted the park's dynamic underground forces. While Yellowstone's geothermal system is powerful, experts emphasize that the risk of a catastrophic eruption wiping out humanity remains exceedingly low, thanks to ongoing research and careful monitoring. The underground ocean. That could end humanity. What if I told you that beneath America's most beloved national park lies a force so powerful it could plunge our planet into another ice age, and that we've only recently discovered it's not just molten rock down there, but an alien world teeming with life that shouldn't exist? In 1871, when Ferdinand Hayden led the first official expedition into what would become Yellowstone National Park, his team marveled at the geysers, hot springs, and bubbling mud pots that seemed to emerge from the very bowels of the earth. What they couldn't have imagined was that they were walking across the thin crust of a sleeping giant, one that had already reshaped civilization 3 times in human history, and whose next awakening could be our last. The Yellowstone caldera isn't just a volcano. It's a supervolcano, a geological monster so vast that early explorers couldn't even recognize it as a single entity. The caldera, from the Spanish word meaning cooking pot, spans roughly 34 by 45 miles, making it larger than the entire city of Los Angeles. But here's what makes your blood run cold. This seemingly peaceful landscape sits atop a magma chamber so enormous it defies comprehension, stretching 55 miles long, 20 miles wide, and plunging 8 miles deep into the Earth's crust. To put this in perspective, if Yellowstone's magma chamber were emptied, it could hold the entire Mediterranean Sea with room to spare. The Apocalypse Archives. History has witnessed Yellowstone's fury 3 times, and each eruption reads like a chapter from humanity's darkest nightmares. The Huckleberry Ridge eruption 2.1 million years ago ejected 10,500 cubic kilometers of material, enough to bury the entire state of Texas under 3 feet of ash. The Mesa Falls eruption 1.3 million years ago was smaller but still catastrophic. Then came the Lava Creek eruption 640,000 years ago, which created the current caldera and deposited the Lava Creek Tuff Formation across half the North American continent. Each of these eruptions dwarfs anything in recorded human history. Mount Vesuvius, which buried Pompeii, a mere firecracker by comparison. The 1815 eruption of Mount Tambora in Indonesia caused global climate chaos, crop failures, and famine that killed hundreds of thousands. But it was 100 times smaller than Yellowstone's last major event. When Yellowstone next erupts, and make no mistake, it will, the immediate blast zone extending 600 miles in every direction will be transformed into a moonscape of death. Ash will blanket 2/3 of the United States under a suffocating gray shroud. The toxic cloud will circle the globe within weeks, blocking sunlight and triggering a volcanic winter that could last for years. Crops will fail worldwide. Billions will face starvation. The last time Earth experienced cooling of this magnitude, during the Toba supervolcanic eruption 74,000 years ago, the human population bottlenecked to perhaps as few as 10,000 individuals. We came within a whisper of extinction. The discovery that changed everything. But here's where our story takes a turn toward the truly extraordinary. In 2014, a team of scientists led by University of Utah seismologist Jamie Farrell made a discovery that sent shockwaves through the geological community. Using seismic tomography, essentially creating X-rays of the Earth using earthquake waves, they revealed that Yellowstone's underground architecture was far more complex and terrifying than anyone had imagined. Beneath the known magma chamber, they found something unprecedented. A deeper, older reservoir of partially molten rock stretching down 30 miles into the Earth's mantle. This deeper chamber is roughly 4.4 times larger than the upper chamber, containing enough magma to fill the Grand Canyon 11 times over. The two chambers are connected by a narrow conduit, creating what geologists now call a double-decker magma system. But the most shocking revelation was yet to come. The alien ocean below. In the superheated waters and mineral-rich environments surrounding Yellowstone's geothermal features, scientists have discovered life forms that seem to come from another planet entirely. These extremophile organisms, literally extreme-loving creatures, thrive in conditions that would instantly kill any other known life on Earth. In the scalding 200-degree Fahrenheit waters of hot springs, like grand prismatic, thermophilic bacteria create vivid rainbow carpets of life. These aren't just surviving, they're flourishing in temperatures that would cook a human alive in minutes. Some species, like Thermus aquaticus, have become so integral to modern science that they've revolutionized DNA research and made possible everything from COVID-19 testing to criminal forensics. Deep beneath the surface, in the fractured rock where superheated water meets molten minerals, scientists suspect even more exotic life forms may exist. These organisms potentially feed not on sunlight or organic matter, but on chemical energy derived from the volcanic processes themselves, a form of life that could exist on other worlds orbiting distant stars. The implications are staggering. If life can thrive in Yellowstone's underground inferno, it could exist in the subsurface oceans of Jupiter's moon Europa, in the volcanic vents of Mars, or in the methane lakes of Saturn's moon Titan. Yellowstone isn't just a window into Earth's violent past. It's a portal to understanding life in the universe. The modern Prometheus. Today, an army of scientists monitors Yellowstone with the intensity of doctors watching a patient in intensive care. The Yellowstone Volcano Observatory tracks every tremor, measures ground deformation with GPS stations accurate to millimeters, and analyzes gas emissions for chemical clues about the magma below. Thermal cameras scan for temperature changes. Satellite imagery watches for subtle ground swelling that might indicate rising magma. The signs they watch for are both subtle and terrifying. Earthquake swarms that could indicate magma movement, ground uplift as the caldera breathes with the pressure below, and changes in the chemistry of hot springs that might signal new magma injections. Between 2004 and 2010, the caldera floor rose nearly 10 inches, faster than had ever been recorded. Then it stopped. Then it started sinking again. Scientists are quick to emphasize that Yellowstone is not overdue for an eruption, despite popular claims. The 600,000-year gap between major eruptions isn't a reliable countdown timer. Supervolcanoes operate on geological timescales that dwarf human experience. But the uncomfortable truth remains. Yellowstone has erupted before, and it will erupt again. The weight of deep time. What makes Yellowstone uniquely terrifying isn't just its destructive potential. It's the way it forces us to confront the vast scales of geological time that shape our planet. Human civilization, in all its glory and complexity, has existed for merely the last few thousand years. Our entire recorded history represents less than 1% of the time since Yellowstone's last major eruption. In the grand narrative of Earth's history, we are newcomers, walking across the stage just as the curtain begins to fall. The extremophile life forms in Yellowstone's depths have been evolving and adapting for millions of years, surviving through multiple supervolcanic eruptions, ice ages, and mass extinctions. They are the true survivors, the inheritors of Earth's deepest secrets. As you read these words, Yellowstone sleeps beneath Wyoming's pristine wilderness, its underground ocean of molten rock slowly stirring in the darkness. The extremophile cities continue their alien existence in conditions that mock our understanding of life itself. And somewhere in the depths, chemical processes that could reshape our world continue their ancient dance. The question isn't whether Yellowstone will erupt again. The question is whether humanity will be ready when it does, and whether we can learn from the strange life forms that have already mastered the art of surviving the apocalypse.